Jefferson County Court of Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number 23CCR 0450. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Jacaven Harmon. Mr. Harmon, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Harmon? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Harmon. Would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Harmon, do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Harmon, you may put your hand down. Mr. Harmon. Mr. Harmon, you're representing your case by your attorney Reverend Jackson. Attorney Jackson, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Jackson. Do you waive a record in Mr. Harmon's case?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Harmon, I have before me a document that is titled information sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Mr. Harmon, it alleges that you, Jacaven Harmon, on or about September 12th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon. Mr. Harmon, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Mr. Harmon, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Mr. Harmon, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, which is states Exhibit 1, there are a set of initials on the line next to the box that's check no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have a document here that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Harmon, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Harmon, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, your attorney go over these documents with you.
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Harmon, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me States Exhibit number 1 and States Exhibit number 2. States locked off of States 1 and 2.
Yes, sir. No.
Any objections? No objections. States Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. And Mr. Jackson, you waiving a record in this case, is that correct?
Correct, Judge.
And Mr. Jackson, you advised and counseled Mr. Harmon. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Harmon, your attorney, Mr. Jackson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Harmon, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers are freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that
In
agreement?
exchange for a plea of guilty no contest, that you could recommend 1 year deferred adjudication, community supervision, $500 fine before cost, 60 hours community service. Standard terms and conditions also part of this plea agreement. The offender has agreed to forfeit the weapon.
Okay, they didn't write that on the plea form.
We need,
What's that?
do we need
The
the
forfeit?
weapon on the plea form?
That's part of the plea agreement.
Well, not always, but I'll put it on the court once. Not always required. It's just
Because it's gonna be in the judgment.
Good.
What is the court cost?
277.
277. That's 277.
I got
Just
it.
kind of read forfeiture of weapon.
Forfeit weapon of BPD.
BPD.
Yeah, but my police department, that's what it is. Now, are you appointed in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Harmon, state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500. You'll be required to pay a probation. You will be required to pay court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month. You'll be required to pay your analysis fee of $15 each month. You're required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15, and you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $177 a month. Will you be able to pay the $177 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation, and you will forfeit the weapon in this case to the Beaumont Police Department. Do we have the forfeiture?
Did the paperwork. Good. You showed with discovery, you had them all pull them together.
It was in there, okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Harmon, I have before me a motion to forfeit the weapon, in this case, to the Beaumont Police Department. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Harmon, before you signed and initialed this document, did your attorney, Mr. Jackson, go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in this document? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Harmon, you want the court to grant this motion to forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department?
Really did.
No, I'm saying, do you want the court to grant this motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the court is going to grant this motion, forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department. Now, Mr. Harmon, did you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in this case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Harmon, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Harmon, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. Jackson, about the non-disclosure. He's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Harmon, you ready for it now?
It's pretty now. Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Harmon, you're gonna stand in front of our court clerk, follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Jackson, you're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You can leave. Thank you.
Just, yeah, get up there.
You can have to go. Yeah.
What's that?
You're right down here and here.
What you call Nate Reynolds for? Oh, he did.
And then,
Okay.
and then sign on the. And you're gonna sign one more time. This is the one you'll bring to the probation office on the report today. This is the map. Okay, thank you.
Now Adams has two cases. I only see one on it.
Leaving one, I'm dismissing the other.
Okay. You haven't did the dismissal yet?
I have, I sent it to the clerk. Judge.
Okay, she hadn't sent it to me.
528, 329, 528.
I just had a 2-6. Okay. Okay, that's this one. Let's see. Okay. Next case, or the next two cases are cause numbers M329526, cause number M334258. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Bryson Tyler Adams.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Offer. Mr. Adams, your full name is Bryson Tyler Adams.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Adams, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Adams, do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Adams, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay, you may put your hands down. Now, Mr. Adams, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Matthew Alford. Attorney Alford, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge, thank you.
That's good. Now, Mr. Adams, in cause number M329526, I have before me an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Adams, it alleges that on or about March 7th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, while you in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Adams, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Mr. Adams, how do you plead guilty? Not guilty, no contest.
Guilty.
Guilty. Now you pleaded guilty freely and voluntarily.
Yes.
And let's see, March. And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Adams, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Mr. Adams, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2, now on page 1, I just initial, I wrote in the date of the offense on the misdemeanor plea admonishments. On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on the line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Adams, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Adams, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Alford, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Alford went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Adams, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me states exhibit number one. State, would you like to offer states exhibit number one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
Judge.
No objection. States exhibit number one will be admitted. Mr. Alford, you've advised and counseled Mr. Adams. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
I have, and there is none, Judge.
And Mr. Adams, your attorney, Mr. Alford, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Adams, I will accept you plead guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that
In
agreement?
exchange for plea of guilty or no contest, states agree to recommend 90 days in Jefferson County Jail, probated for 18 months. There'll be a $2,000 fine and court costs, Your Honor. 100 hours community-based service, interlock device throughout the term of probation, and all other standard terms and conditions for review and beyond. And also in exchange for plea on this particular case, Your Honor, states agree to dismiss the companion case of M 134-258.
Dismiss.
Just a minute. Confirm.
Oh.
Just, it's interlock. We're not adding it as to throughout the full duration. If that he's got a right to ask it to be removed, we're not gonna argue with that. Just interlock devices on the term.
I think interlock is just is mandated.
It's mandated.
Statutory for half the period.
Right.
That's
So
correct.
we're not, when I said duration, that's not, I meant that, you know, that was part of the plea agreement was to have it for full term. That's incorrect.
Okay, let me see.
Thank you.
Interlock. Oops. I just started shutting down.
And
Paper didn't shut down.
Let's see. Oh, okay. I hit cancel. Yeah,
all right.
let's see.
Crazy computers.
Let's see. Let me see. 18 months, 90 days. Okay. Oh, that's 2,000. What is the court cost?
407.
407. Oops. There, right? Okay. Now, Mr. Adams, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 18 months. Uh-oh. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $2,000 plus court costs of $407. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month. You will also be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15 a month and a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is, the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation is $222 a month. Will you be able to pay the $222 a month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 100 hours of community service, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. And the state will be dismissing cause number M334258. Hold on a minute. Mr. Adams, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Adams, I'll follow the bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Adams, you're gonna stand in, you ready? Okay, you're gonna stand in front of the clerk and follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. Thanks for being patient with us. And Mr. Alford, you'll be free to go as well. And you have a blessed day. Both of y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thanks,
It's
Jeff.
working.
All right, thank you.
Just
Okay. I wonder what happened.
there was like a box that was open at the bottom. So it's
Oh, that's what it was? Okay.
You're going to provide your right name in this one.
Oh, it didn't even say that date. When was that? March 7th.
And then this is the paper that I'm going to. The one in the clip today. Not the paper tomorrow. All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Okay.
Ladders.
There's, thank,
Mr. Adams, do you want a copy of your dismissal?
I got Marino just did some paperwork. That's the guy in the corner
Yes.
here. And so these other two gentlemen.
one of those Buddy Reynolds,
Right, she called off, yeah,
and he's off. I think he's gone. I don't know if y'all talked to him, but
no, she called off.
Judge,
You
we
get
send
her-
that dismissal on Adams.
Oh,
Please, sir.
yeah,
I think so.
okay. Got to reset Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Sanders, your case is gonna be reset. Just hold on that our court coordinator is going to, a court administrator is gonna reset your case. Once your case is reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Your attorney may be in another court.
Here on the,
Next case is cause number M331146, case is titled State of Texas versus Christopher John Garza. Christopher John Garza was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. at about 9 a.m. on today's date of October 13th, 2023. Christopher Garza's name was called at the courthouse door at 9 a.m. by the court's bailiff. Christopher Garza did not answer. Christopher Garza has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 12:11 p.m. on today's date. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Christopher Garza at the courthouse door?
Christopher Garza. Christopher Garza. No response, Your Honor.
Christopher Garza's name was just called to get at the courthouse door. Christopher Garza did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Christopher Garza an opportunity to appear in court. He's not appearing in court. State, do you have a motion?
State, Mr. Paul.
That motion will be granted. Christopher Garza bond will be forfeited. And a warrant should be issued for his arrest in cause number M331146. Next two cases are cause numbers M332500 and cause number M332820. Both cases are styled the State of Texas versus Daniel Glenn Harrington. Daniel Harrington was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At or about 9 a.m., Daniel Harrington's name was called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. Daniel Harrington did not answer. Daniel Harrington has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 12:12 p.m. on today's date. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Daniel Harrington at the courthouse door?
Daniel Harrington. Daniel Harrington. No response, Your Honor.
Daniel Harrington's name was just called at the courthouse door. Daniel Harrington did not answer. Daniel Harrington has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 12:13. Daniel Harrington has been given a reasonable time to appear in court. He is not appearing in court. State, do you have a motion in these cases?
State, Mr. Paul, for adjourn each case.
Those motions will be granted. Daniel Harrington's bond will be forfeited. Warrant should be issued for his arrest in cause number M332500, cause number M332820. And this will conclude the calling of the court's announcement docket on today's date of October 13th, 2023 in County Court at Law number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day.